address that first. Why is it that women's anger frighten men? What do you have to say about that question?
Well, really, it's the same thing that I just said. The first thing is that women's anger frightens men because they're responding to that anger. It also is reducing their testosterone level when the woman is angry because, again, men are wired to protect and provide for women. So an angry woman is not pleased, and that's the opposite of protection.
Right.
When a woman is not pleased, it causes a man to feel like a failure on some level. We have to continuously remember that men feel, even when they're unable to say or unwilling to say this, men feel responsible for a woman's happiness, even though they're not. A woman is responsible for her happiness. But a man wants his woman to be pleased only. And no matter how much we try to say that this is unrealistic for one reason or another, this is how men are wired. They want their women to be pleased because they are the protectors and providers. So whatever they protect and provide is supposed to cause a sense of being pleased by the woman. And so there's nothing that's going to be solved or improved or built upon in any relationship if the woman cannot be happy. If a woman cannot keep herself happy, then the relationship will crumble because the main reason that the man is there is not sex. It's not to get bills paid. It's not to get food cooked. The main reason that the man is in a relationship with a woman is because he wants to be able to make her happy.
Y'all, well, I'm sorry. You know what I got to do? My fault.
Done.
It's awesome.
And I'm, expressing this to the young man that this is, this is a work that this is work ahead of us. And I also I explained to him, when a man comes to a woman with a laundry list of all these things that he's going to do for her, and I'm going to do this, and I can do this, this, and this, and then, we start seeing nothing got done yet, and then it becomes the I'm gonna. And that turns sour. And then the woman is looking like, okay, you said all of this, and now I'm watching you do this. And you talk about the anger comes up because you constantly are talking about what you're going to do, and I need to talk about that.
Well, did you get to the part? Did you get to the part where a man's word has to be golden?
It has to be
golden. If a man cannot do something, if he's not sure 100% that he can do something, he is not supposed to say that he can do it. It's more so about what he says that he can do rather than what he does, because the word part is the part that causes distrust.
Okay, and this is interesting. I didn't get to that part yet, but this is how I was explaining it to him. I said, when you take a woman, we're sort of like children. When you tell the child that we're going to go to the amusement park next week, and the child don't know when next week is, so they keep asking, when, if they're little, when are we going to the amusement park? And we're going. And then finally the child says, well, that person didn't tell me the truth, or however they want to put it, and they get sad, and then they start acting out. So that's how I explained it to him. I said it would be, I'm just telling you, it would behoove you to stop telling her all these things that you can do.
And guess what?
Yes.
They're not married yet, so he has a good chance to start over.
Yeah.
But you're exactly right. You are exactly right. He cannot be create a situation where he's unable to lead the family because they don't trust him. And trust for a man comes first through his word. So if a man is unable to do something or he's not sure that he can complete something for his family, he needs to say, I will try, or I can't promise that right now, but I can try.
Mm-hmm.
Or I will see about that next week, but I won't tell you that I can do this for sure because I'm not 100% certain yet.
Yes.
The moment that he says yes, that one single word, he needs to be there unless somebody kills him.
Woo. Woo. Unless somebody kills him.
And as I was, explain to him, because he's, the same age as my daughter, so I consider him as a child. I'm not trying. I already messed up 5 men. I'm talking about the 5 sons of mine, okay? With my masculine energy, trying to be the mother and the father at the same time. So they haven't got nipples yet. My daughter got hers first. I have to round my sons up to get them nipples. But this is just totally beautiful. I mean, the lineage, like you say, this is important. This is so important.
Right. And as far as your daughter working so much, she needs to be able to find a way to create balance, because the woman in the house is going to bring all of the balance. If she's not there enough, the house will go out of whack. Period.
Mm-hmm. I'll explain that to her. That's why I said when the program came on, because he had just come here, and I was like, oh, sit down, I got something to read to y'all. I know y'all have your own books, but I got to read this. And I had to read it out loud, and then I looked after, oh, my goodness, it's after 10. But we got to get through this. We got to get through it. It's for the future.
Yes, and make sure they understand that a lot of couples have had to go back. A lot of couples who have filed for divorce even have had to go back and look at the book and redo a whole bunch of things. And they have been able to, a lot of them have been able to save their marriages and not file for divorce. But it doesn't have to go that far. And that's a lot of years wasted.
Yeah.
And I suggest to a lot of people thinking of marriage that they do not get married unless they use the book as a prenuptial agreement.
Amen, amen. Hallelujah, everything. Yes, it is.
Because everything is in there. Everything is in there.
Isis said, yes, sir.
Look.
Isis, let me get you some callers, Isis. I definitely appreciate you tonight. I know you're going to be tuned in. Because the lines is
Thank
lighting
you,
up.
Isis.
Thank you, Isis. Yes, I thank you both. Peace and love.
Yay.
It's awesome, baby.
That's what I'm talking about. I mean, the humility of women like that who are coming and saying, I want to fix some of the things that she feels she's responsible for. And I tell nobody to take full responsibility, because her and the father of those children co-created that, because of that's all the information they had. But for her to say, I'm going to do my part regardless of what anybody else is doing, to me is the biggest thing, because she's showing initiative as far as her saying, I want to do at least the most I can do for my part, instead of saying, she's never come on the show and said, their father should be doing this, their father should be doing that, and she's doing it from a very feminist, what I call really goddess and nurturing energy. So definitely I applaud you, Isis, for what you're doing. I appreciate you.
This is a dream come true.
Women next caller we are, or give us credit for. That's all correct, but we have been beat down. Now, if you want to know, now this is on that same question. She says, why does the anger frighten us? I want to tell all women listening tonight what does frighten us. You know what frightens us, Ro?
What's that?
Ridicule.
Yeah, because that's saying that you're not a good protector or provider.
Yes, yes. And we associate your anger with that mouth, and you getting angry. And since you are a superior, you have forgotten that you are a superior linguist and superior communicator. And when you get angry, this goes back to what I said about Shahrazad Ali's book, The Black Man's Guide to Understand the Black Woman. She said that the man there's no way he can keep up with the woman's mouth, and the woman is going to go to her strong point. That's why when you get when you get into domestic abuse normally starts off verbally and mentally before it becomes physical, and the man is retaliating. He's retaliating from the verbal and the mental, but there are no litigations or no laws on the books. There's no legislature that protects men from verbal and mental abuse. And so when we are being attacked, we're being attacked by your specialty, ladies. And your specialties is you are a superior communicator. Now, as I say in astrology, there's a high energy and there's a low energy to everything. You can take that same superiority and lift me up to a Barack Obama or a Kennedy or a Kanye West or a Jay-Z, or you can beat my behind and beat me all the way into thinking that I'm no good and now I should be homeless when I used to trade on Wall Street. Your comments on that, Ro?
Well, I think that it's a huge misunderstanding for a lot of women because we believe that there's nothing that we can do to hurt men as much as men become hurt. We do not understand how hurt men are because once they're hurt, they really don't want to talk. And we think he's bigger than me, he's stronger than me, he's a man. So, he has the power to hurt me, but I really don't have the power to hurt him. A lot of women are good women, and they really just don't see that they are hurting men. Men have these looks on their faces that don't change when women say hurtful things. They do not say a lot of things back, and they let their hurt build up until they get really, really angry. And most men keep that under control. And so us as women, we do not see that we are hurtful to men because we have been told for many generations that men hurt women. We don't hear much about women hurting men. But a lot of men are seriously, seriously hurt, disappointed. They're not wanting to be in relationships. Good men, a lot of good men have decided that they are just going to be alone, have sex every once in a while, until after they can't take waiting anymore, cook their own food, go to work, go home. In Atlanta, I hear a lot of women saying, there are no good men, all of the men are gay. But it's not true. We have an extremely large number of single heterosexual men in Atlanta, one of the highest in the country, actually, besides San Francisco and Seattle. But what we are having, where these men are, is at work, in traffic, and at home, because they have given up on the idea that women are going to bring them peace and love.
Boy, this is a sound effect I don't like playing because you're right. And when that giving up, which is a martial art technique. The first rule of martial arts is to avoid rather than harm, Ro. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know, but, a lot of people see this as cowardly, but the truth is that, what you keep saying, men are looking for peace, peace, peace. And we don't see this in our Western society. We think that men, for some reason, are causing dramatic situations, but when you just calmly look closely, you can see that it is the women who are creating dramatic situations. And men are trying to respond with peace so that they can be an example to the woman in their lives as to what they want to get back. But it's not working. They will leave to have peace. They stop talking on the phone to have peace. They stop, having dinner at the dinner table to have peace. They stop coming home to have peace. They get another apartment to have peace. And we like to say that they are avoiding us, but if they're avoiding women in their lives whom are dramatic, then who's really the peacemaker? The one who's initiating a lot of drama, or the person who keeps walking away from drama?
Excellent question. You said who's initiating?
And I'm not saying that all men are emotionally equipped to deal with regular, everyday responsibilities. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that most men are able to deal with regular, everyday situations when the woman comes to them in a peaceful way with them.
Oh, my goodness. I got a question in the chat room, Ro. I don't know if you're ready for this one. You might want to kick back. I'm going to give you this question. I'm going to take some callers. But this might, I can see you. I'm gonna read it slow, and I'm gonna read it twice. Yes, I saw your comment. I'm getting ready to ask her right now. Whoo, Lord have mercy. I'm gonna give it a shot too, Ro. This is tough. You know I'll say anything, but even with this one right here, Lord have mercy. Y'all better call in 347-205-9089. A woman will still measure her worth by what a man spends on her or gives her financially. If it's not enough, she will feel unloved because he's not giving to her standards of her worth. Let me read this again. A woman will still measure her worth by what a man spends on her or gives her financially. If it's not enough, she will feel unloved because he is not giving to her standards of her worth. What does Rose say to that?
Well, I want to know if that was a man or a woman who wrote that.
Female.
Because I don't agree. I think that a woman who is saying that is either sadly confused or in masculine energy from this point of view. Now, most women who are in feminine energy are willing and able to nurture a man's financial abilities and does not determine a man's love for her based on what he can financially provide. Yes, women love to be provided for. Yes, women love gifts. However, women are not supposed to, if they're in their serious feminine energy, determine a man's love for her based on the amount of money being spent. That is just greedy. That's just abusive.
Whew. I want to, well, first off, I want to say this, because this is a show about remedies, all right? So listen, if you are a female and you agree with the amount of money he gives me has to be equal to my worth. Now watch this. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Exhale. And imagine that you have all the money that you can have. Imagine that you are the Queen of Sheba. And you're not talking to an ordinary Joe Blow citizen of the kingdom. You are the Queen of Sheba with your own kingdom and your own money. And then King Solomon comes along, who even has more wealth than you. And you remember that Queen Sheba was not impressed by Solomon's wealth. So in 2014, 15, 16, let's say you already got your own money. And then a man comes along, and that statement that you make, sometimes women say this to ridicule men. You can't do nothing for me because I got my own money. But what about this time? It's true. You do have your own money. Are you going to say that you're going to measure your worth by how much money a man can give you? Do you think Oprah Winfrey, a billionaire, followed that same esteem? Or do you think that that is because you currently may not be where you are at personally in your own desires financially? My particular suggestion. Let me just finish this statement. Let me just finish this one statement. I pass it back to you. My suggestion is, like Rose says, get behind and nurture your man to where he starts to bring in 5 and 10 times as much money, and it's not a competition. And I know Rose getting ready to talk about, why does he got to spend it all on you? Is that what you want? Do you want to have some unlimited amount of financial account where you can spend most of the money in the streets so there's no lineage left over? Okay, Rose, now back to you. You know what I was going to do.
Yeah, spending up a man's hard-earned money is the epitome of disrespectful. When you have to remember that men pride themselves on their ability to protect and provide. So if you take that providing and you spend and find more reasons for things that you quote unquote need, you are being extremely disrespectful. And yes, a man will give you money knowing that he can't afford it because he's trying to please you. But a man who's in strong leadership will make it very clear that he is not going to give up the idea of being able to create a strong family, a strong future, or a strong lineage because you want a new handbag. That's ridiculous. And, for all of the men listening, when women are behaving in this way, there does not need to be a fear that she will leave because she wants more money. Let her leave. Let her leave. There are plenty of women who can bring more money through simply nurturing their man properly. And part of nurturing a man properly is respecting him. And spending up all of a man's hard-earned money, whether you have some or not, is the epitome of masculine disrespect. And like I keep saying over and over again, respect is love to a man. Women love to say that they want to be respected too. That goes both ways. Blah, 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 blah. But the truth is, adoration is love to a woman. If she's feminine, she agrees that to be adored is to feel truly loved by a man. So we need to offer respect to men so that they feel loved by us. Because if they don't feel respected, also known as loved by us, they need to get that from somewhere else in order to continue to protect and provide for anyone. This is not about them being selfish about their needs. When a man needs to feel loved, also known as respected, that is so that he's able to continue to protect and provide for anyone. Let her leave. There are plenty of women who can bring more money through simply nurturing their man properly.
So I run she sit over there and be cute and everything, and that's all right because she is sexy, so that's all right. Caller from the 111-1111. You must be a Skype caller. Your mic is wide open. Can I get your name and where you're calling from, please?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Who's this? We can hear you.
Yeah, this is Peter from Philly.
What's happening?
Hi.
Philly tonight. Oh, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm actually glad that the other woman called before because she actually did address, one of the points that I was going to make about men being in the position and being able to, do all the things that they say that they're going to do. I agree with much of what was said. The only part I don't agree with is the coddling of black men and, the stuff about, a woman's going to come through and, she can get with some dude that doesn't have it together and she's going to train him to, be, Barack Obama in 5 years. And that's,
we didn't,
that's
wait
not
a minute,
going to...
I'm sorry, sir.
Go ahead.
We didn't say train. Some other media that you heard before said train.
No. You said, something to the effect of...
No,
and
I will never say train. I will never say train. This is some idea. This is some idea that you have heard from some other form of media.
I listened to you when you were talking on the show. I heard what you said, and you made a point about, a woman, getting a man through her whatever essence, to some level that he's not at, and I disagree with that, and I think that that's where a lot of the anger ends up coming from. And not only that, but it puts the idea that, women have this magical power to influence a man who's not on his feet to get on his feet. And no woman is going to be able to respect a man that she builds. I hear a lot of people running around saying that she can get a man to a certain level and that she's going to respect that man. She's not going to respect that man. The brother that just called talking about, the fact that, why are women asking questions every 2 seconds or whatever, is because they don't respect us. I mean, black men have not collectively demonstrated any reason why black women should collectively respect us, which is why when you have your seminars, you have women that don't have any clue as to why they need a man. They're not, especially black women, they're not dependent on black men for their economic survival or the infrastructure of, society and community. They don't see black men, doing these things where they're actively participating in their community to maintain the structure. So I understand why you have women who really don't see the value in men other than making babies and being in a relationship. I just think that a lot of the coddling, if I do this for this brother, it's going to get him on this level. If I do this, it's going to get him on this level. And there's a lot of brothers that run around and they say that, they're like, oh, man, these black women, they're not supportive and they're not this and they're not that. And I'm saying, to a degree, yes, some women may not be supportive of you or whatever, but I'm saying, to brothers, what are you doing to get yourself to that next level to be respected? And you have a lot of things that they go and they talk about their potential.
There's a serious misunderstanding here.
Okay.
I hear a lot of men, I read a lot of men saying on the internet that they are going to try to choose a woman who's going to financially help them pay bills. I am not referring to that. I am not referring to women coddling men or babying them in any way, nor is that anything associated with my research or my book. I'm talking about the actual feminine nurturing, and a lot of us don't know what that is, and so it seems like I'm referring to something else. But I'm not referring to something else. I'm referring to feminine nurturing from a basic instinctual point of view. So that a man can grow into himself without a woman trying to be the man or the leader, so that he can grow into a greater leader.
This is what I'm trying to. And maybe you can explain it to me. I'm saying I'm not seeing how a woman with her feminine energy can get a man who was not leading when she met him to somehow pull it together to now he's at the point where he's leading her, where she would be dependent on him for what she needs.
Listen, sir. First of all, I am not referring to an unhealthy boy. This is not what we're talking about on this show. We're talking about grown, healthy, loving men. We're not saying that women need to go around finding a boy, a man-child to grow into a man. That's not what we're saying. We're not even saying that women should be in a relationship with these men. We are explicitly saying that women should avoid these type of men.
Okay.
But when a woman comes into contact with a man who is an actual grown man trying to reach different levels of success based on his point of view, yes, women can nurture a man in a feminine way with her femininity to step back and allow him to take a masculine role and to take the leadership role so that he can become better and better at it.
I get that.
However,
but that doesn't. Go ahead.
However, we are never saying train because that's disrespectful.
I understand that, but I'm saying what you're saying, in regard to, her showing up and however the cultivation is going to be, that doesn't make any sense, because if he's already a man and he's already established that he's already there and he's adding her to the ship that he already has, this notion or this idea that she's building him up or contributing to his leadership, which he's already demonstrating when she met him, makes absolutely no sense. I'm not trying to contradict the idea. Literally, logically, it makes no sense.
Sir, in a very graceful, feminine way, I am going to let you have the last word.
And then I'm going to step in and have something to say. Thank you, Ro. But, brother, let me explain something to you.
Mm-hmm.
Male to male. Because you are old and you pay bills is not the definition of man. Because you can have a sperm and you make a baby don't make you a man. So a male can be 35 years old, be making $100K a year plus, and a woman could be attracted to him, and he can still need nurturing. He could still not be a man. He could actually be a sucker MC, and you know that. You've seen some men who had money who still weren't exhibiting manhood. So age 21, 35, 50 don't make manhood. It's the Hold on. I didn't interrupt you while you were talking. Ro didn't interrupt you, and she let you have the last word, and I sat here and listened to everything both of you said. So I'm going to let you speak your piece, but just hold on for a second. But if you don't understand, it doesn't mean it's not possible. I ain't never been to the moon. It doesn't mean it's not possible. That's why, and I'm surprised Ro didn't ask you the simplest question. Do you have the book? Because if you ain't seen the manual and you trying to figure out how we scoring touchdowns, I know it's confusing because you ain't seen the manual. So now, do you have the book?
What I was going to say is that what you just said, I think, is what creates a lot of the problems in the black community, because I already know that there's brothers out there that grab what you say and then run with it. Okay, the black community has huge economical problems because black men collectively are not in the financial position that they need to be. We do not control the economic landscape of the community. Okay, and we got brothers running around talking about, I run it on her dime. I'm still the man of the house on her dime. Okay, we got brothers out here who believe that manhood is something intrinsic.
The show is not for them, though. The show is not for them.
Let me finish my point. We got men out here who believe that manhood is intrinsic, okay, and they want to get into arguments about, well, my manhood is not based on money. Well, I'm saying the world that we live in is based on money. So regardless of whether your manhood is based on money or not, you got some pretty ineffective manhood when it comes to making certain moves that you need to make in your community or in, this America, as a man, or working or networking with other brothers to make those moves so that black women can see us in that position and see us in that light where they can trust us and be dependent on us, not just because, of us, being in the position, but we're actually getting things done. You can only have that if brothers are in the position to do that. You have women out here who are trying to be gold diggers or trying to go out here and get with men and think that, if they get with a man that he's going to be able to provide something because he says he can provide something or because, of some intrinsic idea. But the reality is that in order for black men to provide what black women are looking for, whether that's promotion in the media, protection, provision, all of that, we need collectively be ahead of them. So any conversation about a brother not being in a financial position where we're collectively ahead of them is out. But yet constantly I hear brothers making that point that they can still be a man and they can still operate in this and that, and I can still love a woman. Yeah, you can still love a woman, but you're still not going to be able to make the move that you need to make as a black man out here in this world so that black women do respect us.
Gotcha. And I do appreciate your opinion. I do appreciate you calling in. This show is designed for those who want to do something different. If men still want to think that everything is about money, then they can keep on thinking that everything is about money. But it's about value. If you know what the IMF is, that's the International Monetary Federation. They determine the value of money and the value of stock. We're not here to argue with you, and we're here to for people who have bought the book and people who are interested in the book and who are interested in healthy relationships. We're not here to talk about or even exonerate or defend or throw the men up under the bus who are saying everything that you said. You're absolutely right. There's a whole lot of dudes around. I call them dudes. Let me make it clear, from dudes to men. There's a lot of dudes out here who are saying exactly what you're saying. I don't agree with them, and they are unhealthy. They are unhealthy dudes. So I suggest that you go to manleads.com and get the book, and we appreciate you for calling in. And if you come in and check us out next week, we appreciate your contribution. I got to move on to the next caller. Caller from the 336.